everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Darby Jones and I live in Colorado. I'm on the eastern plains of Colorado. I live right along the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. I'm a little bit north of Denver, and I just love to, what I call, do hike-abouts. I like to take you guys on nature walks and little hikes. And the little town that I live in, Loveland, Colorado, there's so many beautiful places right here in my hometown that we're going to start there, and eventually we'll do some traveling to different towns and up in the mountains. And I love to vlog, I love to live stream, so we'll go on some adventures together. Today we are in a place called River's Edge Natural Area, and this used to be a gravel pit years and years and years ago, and they turned it into a natural area where we have all kinds of wildlife here, you guys. We have all kinds of aquatic animals, and we've got all kinds of birds that are down here. We have blue herons, all kinds of ducks. We have Canadian geese. We have pelicans that land. Believe it or not, we have pelicans in Colorado. We also have, we have foxes and coyotes and black bears and elk and deer, different kinds of snakes. We have all kinds of great wildflowers down here as well. So this is a series of 5 ponds, 5 lakes, that has pathways all the way through all of those ponds. So it's a beautiful day here today. It's about 48 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is in February, so that's a really good time, That's a good temperature to be walking around. So this time of year is beautiful. The pond is frozen. I'll show you that. The ponds, I should say. And we've had some snowstorms, so you'll get to see some snow. And let's get going. So this area, you guys, River's Edge Natural Area, flooded in 2013. And so you can see here, it shows you how bad this whole area flooded. All of those ponds flooded over into each other. The whole parking lot was just gone. So it was the Big Thompson River that flooded. And it was September 9th, 2013. And it was the most extreme flood recorded in our history. Rainwater swelled the Big Thompson River, like I said, but it heavily damaged many of the irrigation diversion dams, and it flooded homes and businesses and washed out roads. So it was actually categorized as an 100-year event, which means at any given point in time that there is a 1 in 100 chance of occurrence. So again, it was a mess. Our town was divided in half because the river runs basically east to west. And so if you lived on the south side of the river, if you didn't get home before it flooded, we couldn't get back to our homes. So there's all kinds of volunteers that come down, and we have these flower gardens, native plant flower gardens. And in the summertime, it's just beautiful. So the Colorado state flower is the columbine, which is right here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we have all kinds, creeping barberry, bluebells, Indian rice grass. We have all kinds of different kinds of natural grasses here that grow in the prairies. Fringed sagebrush, small leaf, toes, wolfberry, golden currant, boulder raspberry, cottonwood trees, all kinds of trees and plants. So this is one of the 5 ponds. It's the largest one. This one's called Bass Pond. So we have anglers out here for sure. Largemouth and smallmouth bass. Those are catch and release only though. And then we have, what is it, yellow perch. 5 for a limit. But we have different species here. Let's look. So bluegill, let's get it up there. Bluegill, common carp, gizzard shad, largemouth bass, brown trout, green sunfish, white sucker, and yellow perch. And as you can see, they do have really good parking here. There's actually an amphitheater here that I'll show you here in a little bit. And they've got like trailhead information, different things about the wildlife and everything. There are some little shelters, like little pavilions you can eat at, and educational signs. And then I see a lot of fishermen out here on those belly boats, so that's allowed. And then, of course, all kinds of pedestrian, all kinds of footpaths. And I don't know if you can see. Let's see if we can zoom in here, you guys. See that big tall pole? Those are nests that were made for osprey. And I need to do a little more research, but I think they're just here during, you know, the spring and the summer and maybe early fall. So I'll have to look that up. They built that nest for them. And then there's another pole right there. It's a perch. And you'll see one of the couple, it's a couple that's here. One of the mates will be there while the other one's with the nest over here. All right, let's go down to the shoreline. This is Bass Pond, like we were saying. This is the largest pond or lake. It's kind of a cross between, right? It's not a huge lake, but it would be a huge pond. So this one I would probably call more like a lake. Everything's melting today because, like I said, it's almost 50 degrees. So it's kind of a muddy mess down here. But yeah, here is Bass Pond. It's still pretty when it's frozen, but this provides a great backdrop or foreground for sunrises. So I'll come down here and actually live stream sometimes, but also just video some sunrises. I have another pond where I do sunsets, and you get the reflection off the water, and also with the seeing the sun go down behind the mountains. It's just beautiful. They have all kinds of pathways down to all of these ponds. And see all of these big rocks they have? They're just everywhere where you can sit and look out over the pond. We usually have, Canadian geese actually stay here year-round, believe it or not. There's none right here on the pond right now, of course, because I'm videoing this, but we definitely do. And we have a couple blue herons down here as well. And like I said, we have pelicans, but not in the wintertime. Hopefully my camera will focus in on this. This is actually half of a clamshell. So we actually have a whole bunch of species of freshwater clams here in Colorado lakes and ponds. So yeah, like I was saying before, we have all kinds of waterfowl here too. But as you can tell, like the shoreline, you've probably noticed, let's kind of bring this up. It's lined with all kinds of plants. So it's full of cattails and a plant called bulrushes, and that provides cover for the nesting waterfowl and young fish also, and swallows and so on. Let's go back down to the sign here real quick. So coots, we have all kinds of kind of duck-like birds, and the coots are those ones that are black with a little bit of white on them. And then we've got the great blue herons. We have frogs down here. We have mice down here. And then we have those diver ducks. Are you guys familiar with the diver ducks? They're diving cormorants. And so they will actually dive underneath the water. And when it's not frozen, I can actually video that for you guys. But we have common merganers that are migrant visitors. We've got mallard ducks. Those are the males that have the green heads. All kinds of insects. Dragonflies. One of the ponds down here is called Dragonfly Pond, and there's just a ton of them. And then all kinds of different fish that we already talked about. And then this is the great blue herons. It's a footprint, so it can be 6.5 inches long and about 4 to 5 inches wide. They're huge birds if you've never seen them before. It's just beautiful this time of year because, like I said, we've got the snow on the ground. There's a good shot of some of our local mountains here, and they've got snow on them way up top. Yeah, so they have all kinds of pavilions out here. So a lot of times I'll pack a lunch or pack breakfast, pack some kind of a picnic, and all kinds of places that you can sit and eat. Yeah, check out these nice pavilions that they have. And they actually even have outlets out here too. I don't know if you can see that because it's kind of silhouetted there. But they have outlets. They have 3 banks of 4 there. So if you're going to have like a get-together and you need to plug in things, you can even do that. But how beautiful is this, you guys? I love this pine tree. I'm one of those people that can find faces in trunks. Do you guys do that? Look at this one. It has all the different knots in it from old branches that have been cut down. But look at how knobby this trunk is. Somewhere there. Do you see it? It's a face. There's actually a dock that they have that kind of goes out over Bass Pond here. Not a huge one, but let's go ahead and go down there and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see the tracks or not. There we go. You can see tracks out there on the lake. That's probably coyotes. Sometimes you see rabbit tracks out there because, like I said, the lake is frozen. So if you're somewhere where you never experienced snow, you actually have to, if you're out in the snow, walking through the snow, and it's a sunny day, you definitely have to make sure you have sunscreen on. And I don't because I'm videoing, but I have sunscreen on, but sunglasses too, because the reflection off the snow, you can really get burned. Plus, we're at a high altitude. We're at a mile high here in the Denver area. Alright you guys, that's it. Back at the Mini Cooper. Hope you guys enjoyed walking around with me. Like I said, there's all kinds of places here just in my local little town here of Loveland, Colorado. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting that little bell so you get notifications so you know when I come on. And if you liked it, hit that thumbs up for me. I would appreciate it. Alright, catch you on the next one.